Emilia wakes up. As she looks around, she sees that she is still in the sewers. She also sees that Leo is standing by a pair of ladders. These ladders aren't the same ones as before. Emilia instantly realizes that they are far from wherever Cray was. She looked at Leo, who was giving a big smile. He was surely going to do something bad. However, due to the amount of stuff that had been happening, Emilia wasn't too scared. She was just worried.
I see you're awake. Well, that's great.
Leo takes a revolver and pulls it on Emilia's head. Emilia starts breathing heavily.
Listen, if you do as I tell you, then all will be well. I just need you to do something, alright? It won't take long.
Leo takes Emilia's handcuffed hands and carries her out of the manhole. They end up in the middle of the street. The street leads to a bridge nearby. Emilia realizes that it's the same bridge that they drove off of. Leo pushes Emilia with him to the bridge, and as she looks at the distance, she sees that there are several living buildings waiting there. It seems as if they knew they were coming. Did Leo tell them? As they get closer, they stop. Emilia realizes that Fregile is there and seems worried.
So, what do you desire?
I want Larry. That's all I want. After you give me him, I'll be out of your way.
Yes, okay, we will get him.
Yes, wonderful, thank you. Emilia, if you're wondering where Larry is, well, you'll be glad to hear he's not locked up. Instead, he's just a little damaged after the fall. But the city brought him back up, and so we shall all head back together. Doesn't that sound wonderful?
Emilia looks at Leo with an enraged expression, and Leo just pats her cheek.
Ah, you seem overjoyed. Well, don't worry, he won't be long.
And in no time at all, Larry comes in through the crowd of buildings. He looks angry, which only causes Emilia to be more on edge.
Ah, Larry, you know what to do. Oh, I don't know, Leo. Will you do what I want you to do this time? To free me? Yes, Larry, your time will come, I swear it. But I don't know if you've noticed that we're in a pickle right now, and both I and Emilia need to get out of it. Now, will you be a bargain or not? Yes, whatever, just get in. I am getting impatient.
Both Emilia and Leo get inside Larry, and they start to drive off back to Leo's lab.
I'm seriously starting to lose my patience. How do I know you ain't lying to me? Seriously, I've done all you've requested. I've gotten Emilia and Cray to the lab. I've served you for many years. What else can you possibly need? Listen, Larry, I will give you your eternal reward soon. Tell you what, if you can keep Emilia still while we're back in the lab, I'll give you what you wished for right afterward. Got it?
It takes a while for Leo to answer. However, he ends up finally answering with a yes. They arrive at the lab and Leo pushes Emilia out of the car. He unties her and pushes her back up, demanding that she opens the door for him.
Oh, don't look at me like that. After all, isn't it always ladies first?
Emilia walks into the lab and sits by the table next to a plate. Leo walks next to her, and she instantly takes the plate and slams it onto Leo's face, causing him to screech in pain. Emilia dashes out of the lab, and Larry notices.
Where do you think you're going, you little brat?
Emilia runs out to the open street and just keeps on running. She runs as quick as she possibly can, getting cramps along the way. Larry gets closer and closer.
I've had enough of you. I'll just run you over for good.
Emilia keeps running, and Larry is extremely close to hitting her. But right as all hope is lost, Emilia notices a fence and a dumpster in front of it. She quickly jumps onto the dumpster, then does another jump over the fence. As this happens, Larry hits the dumpster head on, causing him to cry out in pain.
Ah, you brat, you ignorant princess! Get back here now! You're full of crap, Larry. Don't ever come at me again. Oh, really? I'm the one full of crap, huh? Who's the one lost and confused, huh? You don't know what you'll do to get out of here. Besides, it's not gonna be hard to find you again, Emilia. Believe me and Leo know this place like the back of our hands. We'll know where to find you. Why can't you just leave me alone? Listen here, Toots. It's a miracle you're still alive. Just... listen. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I promise I won't do it again. If you give me another chance. Sweet Emilia? Go to hell, you creep. Emilia, if you don't come out here, then I'll find you. Emilia? Are you still there? Shit. I don't have time for this. Where's Leo? Leo? Leo, where are you?
Emilia, standing on the other side of the fence, sees Larry driving away. She is nearly in tears as she sits by a brick wall trying to regain her thoughts. She hated to admit it, but Larry wasn't wrong. She really didn't have a clue on what she was going to do next. The only thing she could think about is where to go to get out of here. After a while of sobbing, she regains her strength and stands up. She decides to go up the building next to her. Maybe she could end up getting a good view of the city. Luckily for her, there was a ladder which led to a balcony right next to her. She decided to climb up the ladder and into the room. She had to wonder to herself if the building was asleep. She'd best be quiet just in case. She goes upstairs, and while she goes into one of the hallways, she notices a conversation outside. She hides behind one of the walls as she notices Fregile walking down the street. He was nearly as big as the building she was in. The odd part was that he seemed to be talking to someone, but who?
Oh, I do wish it wasn't so difficult to find them.
Fregile, do you ever think I'll get to meet another human again? I don't want to live here alone.
I'm sure that you'll be able to have a conversation at the very least. It would be so wonderful to see you making friends with other humans such as yourself. And that is why we need to find that Cray. As for that Emilia...
Fregile stopped his sentence for a little bit before answering.
I don't know. I'm not sure how Bernard will handle her. Especially after being on Cray's side, I especially can't be sure.
Right as Grace is about to answer that question, a grandfather clock named Taylor arrives in a panic.
Goodness, Taylor Hall, whatever is the matter?
The boy. He held a lighter on my face. He forced me to tell him where the exit is. I think he might actually escape.
Where is he?
He is at the amusement park.
Right as Emilia overheard that, she knew exactly what to do. She decided to sneak out of the building. As she was walking out through the hall, she noticed a convenient fire axe. She decided to take it without a second thought. She walked out of the building through the back, where Fregile wouldn't see her. She could hear where Fregile was going, and decided to take a path which led that way. Since she didn't want to be found, she decided to go back into the sewers and follow the path which was the most accurate to the direction which Fregile was going. And so she ran with her axe through the sewers. As she went further and further in, she accidentally reminded herself of something. Didn't Leo mention that there was something down in the sewers? Something dangerous? It would seem as if her suspicions were correct, as she notices a light in the distance through the sewers. Emilia tries to instantly hide in one of the corners, ready to swing her axe at whatever is coming for her. As she stands by a corner in the sewers, out of sight, for whatever is coming her way, she swings at it once it is close enough with her axe. It seems to be this strange big light attached to the ceiling, with veins which are purple. It appears that Emilia managed to knock it out. It is dead, Emilia thinks to herself. As soon as she thought that to herself, the lights turned on again, indicating it had awoken. Emilia tries swinging her axe at it once again, but it dodges. Instantly, instead of moving away, it lets out a loud screech. Right as it does that, Emilia notices some weird glowing thing coming through one of its veins, which are connected to it by the ceiling. The glowing thing is going up, which, if Emilia had to guess, probably means that it sent a message indicating where she is. When she realized this, she began running as fast as she could, further and further into the sewer until she reached what seemed to be the end of the sewer. She went out of the sewer. As she exited the sewer, she noticed that she was under what seemed to be a big cliff. On the top of that cliff was the city itself. In front of it was the forest, which looked so pretty with its lights. And finally, in between the forest and the city was an amusement park. Emilia looked at the park with hope in her eyes, as she remembered what Fregile said. He should be here. She knows it. Without a second thought, she snuck into the park, looking through corners and rides to see if she could find him. As she goes deeper into the park, she notices some merry-go-round, which was absolutely tarnished. She wondered to herself if this could mean something bad, as if something bad might have happened to Cray. Just as she thought that to herself, she got a pleasant surprise as Cray appears behind her.
Emilia! Cray! Oh my god, I am so happy to see you. I'm glad you're alive. I have great news. I know where the exit is. We can escape. Oh yes, thank you, thank you. We need to go to the mirror maze. Apparently there should be an exit there. Well, then that's our cue.
Both Emilia and Cray are glad to have a companion once again. However, this victory is short-lived as they get interrupted by some popcorn machine, which seems to be surprised by them being there.
You!
Emilia stands with her axe in hand. Cray jumps at the popcorn machine and starts hitting it repeatedly. Emilia goes in and starts swinging her axe at it as much as she can. Cray seems to be hitting it a little too hard, as his hands start getting red.
Cray, it's unconscious. We can stop now.
Cray doesn't listen.
Give me my life, give me my life, give me my life. Die, die, die.
Cray finally stops punching and kicking it. Emilia looks at Cray with a very on-edge look. She is admittedly a little scared of him after that.
Anyways, we should start going. Sounds good. Let's go. And it seems like it's either now or never.
Emilia says while pointing at the buildings coming their way. Emilia and Cray run to the mirror maze.